Hello everybody, some kind of cyborg here, back with another Back for Blood video. Today I'm going to be showcasing a deck that has carried me through the majority of veteran difficulty, up to and including the last boss, which it absolutely walks all over. The deck consists of 3 primary packages, those being a weakness exploit and big damage package, a team support and a solo utility package. I'll be going over main card inclusions as well as some additional cards that you can swap in and out to lean into some themes harder than others, or modify the deck slightly to work better with your personal playstyles or the difficulty which you will be attempting. Though this deck works best with Walker and its inherent cleaner ability to deal 10% additional damage, it can really work with any cleaner as long as you enjoy a more damage oriented, AR focused playstyle. The deck is built in such a way that it annihilates special mutation weak points, and 1 or 2 taps multiple standard ridden with increased bullet damage and penetration, while including just enough team support to enable clutch revives and healthy ammo counts for both you and your team. I've tried to avoid too many cards with drawbacks, ensuring that we still have enough stamina and HP to weather or outpace any worm-ridden storm that comes.
Another day in paradise.
So, the deck can be broken down into 3 primary packages: a weakness exploit damage increase package, a solo utility package, and finally a team utility package. Package 1 includes tactical vest, patient hunter, large caliber rounds, silver bullets, reckless strategy, and ridden slayer. Each of these cards goes to compound what Walker does best: exponential damage output with firearms. Tactical Vest is going to ensure we deal a flat 10% damage increase with ARs, whilst increasing our ammo pool. On top of that, Patient Hunter through Marked for Death are going to increase our damage by a further 57%, assuming we are both ADS'd for at least 3 seconds and versus a marked mutation. Though the overall damage increase comes from multiple sources, i.e. flat damage, bullet damage, weakness damage, AR damage, and Walker's own damage, the math essentially works out to it ripping various mutations apart using from half a mag for higher damage ARs and just over a mag for lower damage ARs. If we further compound this with scopes and attachments to increase weak point damage and firepower, we are simply walking through anything but the hardiest of monstrous mutations. Even then, the only enemies that tank considerable damage seem to be the exploders with no obvious weak point. Wretches, stingers, assassins, and tallboys are absolute fodder for this build.
What the fuck happened here? Damn it. We needed these weapons.
Following that, we have a solo utility package in the form of reload drills, wide mouth magwell, durable, and ammo pouch. These 4 cards ensure that when a horde rocks up, we have a constant damage output with minimal downtime spent reloading, as well as the ammo to support even the heaviest of trigger fingers. Durable is a nice quality of life card which increases our health, but the main reason I include it is to mitigate trauma damage, so that even if some ridden do manage to wade through the wall of lead you're putting out, your meds and dark are still going to see maximum value. The team utility package goes to further satiate your thirsty weapon mags, seeing more ammo spawning throughout missions and pockets deep enough to carry it all. Ammo for All and Ammo Scavenger are great team-wide pickups that will enable your team to keep guns blazing through even the thickest horde. Inspiring Sacrifice ensures that when it all hits the fan and your team drop one after the other, those that remain get a nice healing boost to get back into the fight for those revives. And Avenge the Fallen amps up your weapon damage and reload speed to truly ludicrous levels whilst granting unlimited ammo. It's essentially a 10-second god mode. This combination has saved many veteran runs. Wading knee-deep through the dead with guns roaring 100% increased damage to weak points to defib a teammate back to life, it doesn't get much better than that.
SMG here.
2 is 1 and 1 is none can potentially make for a very nice setup. It does however require just that, an entire setup to support it. It is definitely a viable way to play Walker, however, the deck I've gone for here is more of a general setup to carry you through any mission in Veteran on the back of solo and team support. The The double weapons I find don't leave much room for some of the nicer quality of life and team cards included in this deck. However, if people are interested, I will be willing to make a guide detailing a couple of nice 2-1 setups I have had great success in Nightmare with. Some other cards to consider for this deck are Confident Killer for lengthier missions with a high likelihood of multiple mutations. Power Reload will increase our magazine size, ensuring we get guaranteed value from Patient Hunter. Broadside is excellent at mulching through hordes with explosive headshots, which will also do incidental damage to mutations wading through the crowds. And Shredder will see us gaining 1% increased damage up to 15, which can be fantastic versus bosses or furious and monstrous mutations. If you're playing in a coordinated team, it is easily possible to remove Inspiring Sacrifice and Avenge the Fallen for any of these cards. And if you're playing with someone you know is running a melee build, you can further drop Ammo for All as well as Ammo Scavenger. A card I've seen others include, but which I personally avoid, is Hyper Focused. Though it increases our weak point damage by a further 50%, I find the 75% ADS penalty is simply not worth it, and is actively counter-synergistic with Patient Hunter. Overwatch is also an excellent include for Nightmare difficulty runs, as it's going to give teammates a full 5 temporary hit points if they are within 10 meters of a target that you kill, whilst you yourself are 15 meters away. Great card for pushing through encounters or sitting a little further back from your team whilst holding chokes. The deck, as it stands, perfectly caters to playing with randoms and will see excellent success when playing with friends. On the subject of Nightmare difficulty, there are a few more adaptations you will have to make to your overall playstyle when coming from Veteran. The greatest change, in my opinion, is the inability to go into a down state due to a lack of team lives. For this reason, I highly recommend someone on the squad runs Mum, and another runs Defib, though I honestly try to run both wherever possible. On Nightmare, damage is going to be coming thick and fast, sometimes despite your best laid plans. This build needs to shift towards a more crowd control oriented playstyle to compensate. I have here a series of cards that are going to see excellent value on Nightmare difficulty. The first is Face Your Fears, which in my opinion edges out Overwatch simply due to ease of use. With this card, you're going to gain temporary HP every time you mulch a Ridden within a couple of meters. Temporary hit points can trickle over into trauma damage, which you can expect to receive plenty of. Numb will utilise these temporary hit points and infer a not at all inconsiderable damage resistance buff. When you combo both of these cards with Line 'em Up and Broadside, you can ensure you are taking out entire waves of Ridden with every weapon sweep and gaining tank stats for the pleasure.
Walker, you ain't got an excuse for that.
Well, watch where you park yourself.
So, there you have it folks. If you have any video requests for specific or general decks, please do let me know. If you found the video at all helpful, please do consider leaving a like, and if you have any criticism, feel free to share. Until the next one, take care folks, and have a good one.